Alright, day 14, daily diary, whatever, the long version that nobody watches. So, I asked for prayers today. I listened to the Gospel of Luke again. And Luke repeatedly, at least twice, tells you that in order to follow Christ, you must love Christ more than even your parents, your siblings, your friends, your spouse, your wife. They specifically say wife multiple times. So, I'm supposed to love Christ more than my wife. And then I was very upset. I went on here and I asked for prayers, and people answered. I got lots of prayers. And wouldn't you believe it, it worked. She didn't contact me. She contacted the wife of my friend. And her reasons for leaving me are that this last trip in the Philippines, she's built up the story in her mind that I said if she isn't pregnant, I'm going to go to Thailand or some other country, and I'm going to find someone else to get pregnant, to make pregnant. And that I went to bikini bars and stuff. And this is not true. So here's the confession time. So March 4th, I'm pretty sure, of 2025, I visited my wife during our anniversary, and I returned to the US March 5th. My birthday is March 3rd. For my birthday, we wanted to have a party, get together. She invited a bunch of her friends. I don't drink. She invited some of her family. They all started drinking. And then she pressured me to drink, to have fun. I don't know. Birthdays have not been a thing for me that I felt happy for a long time. They're just another year where I'm older, and it's a reminder that I'm not where I need to be. And her and her friends were doing karaoke. I don't really do karaoke. I don't drink. Her and her friends were drinking, and her family were drinking. And I tried. I shotgunned 2 beers. And she got extremely drunk. So I had to take care of her. Her mom had to take care of her. The next day, she was extremely sick because whatever, she drank too much, so she was sick all day. And because I'm a sinner and I'm a moron, I wanted to go to the bikini bars. What I wanted to do to celebrate my birthday was to go to a place where there's a bunch of girls, to buy them drinks, to feel important, to feel like a priority. And that was me being a sinner. That was not good. Well, my wife got upset. She's like, if you want to do that, fine, go. Just go ahead and go. I'm not going to go with you because I'm a teacher. You know, if I'm seen there, I could lose my license, but you go and enjoy yourself. So I went to the bikini bar. And I spent a couple hours and a couple $100 there. And I realized that it was lonely and I wanted my wife. So I bar-fined a girl, sent her home, got on a motorcycle, and I came home to my wife. And of course she was upset. She built up this whole thought that, you know, she left the Life 360 group. She stopped sharing her location on Google, and she was very upset that she thought I was cheating on her, and I wasn't. And so when I got back after a couple hours, she was like, did you have sex? Did it? And I'm like, no, I didn't do anything. Like, I bought the girls drinks, I bar-fined one girl so she could go home because she was really nice, and it was getting late, and I came back to you. And we made up, I thought. And then I visited her again in September of last year. And she couldn't take the time off work. Wouldn't take the time off work. So I sat in the condo. I would have to walk all the way, or go down 13 floors, whatever it was. It might have been more, I can't remember. But I had to go all the way downstairs, walk about a quarter mile off of the IT Park property so I could have cigarettes. That's where I would smoke. And, I hung out at the mall most days while she was at work. And that trip, the only thing we did is I took her and her coworkers, her friends from work, to an actual club. And I paid for their drinks and I paid for the food, and they all had a fun time, and then we went back to the condo. And yeah, we went back to ours, they went up to theirs, and it wasn't great. I mean, I was alone the entire time. I was miserable. I didn't feel valued by my wife, but I got to spend time with her. And then this past trip was, she didn't want me visiting when I normally do for our anniversary, for Valentine's Day, for my birthday. She didn't want that. She wanted me to visit in June, or in May, actually, when she was off of school. Well, my co-driver, his anniversary or her birthday or something is at the end of May. So he's like, sure, if you want to take off in May, we can take it off at the end of the May, so I could go see my wife and he could go see his wife, and it would mesh. And my wife was like, can you come longer? No, I've got to work, I can't come longer. Can you come earlier? No, because it's already been arranged, da 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 da. And so I visited this trip. And we went to the Lex, and we had a great time. I thought that the next place, we were going to go to Moa Boa, we were going to do the sardine runs, maybe try and scuba dive. And I thought they had a whirlpool tub there so that we could have a bubble bath and all that stuff. We got there and the aircon wasn't working. And I need air conditioning. So I'm like, look, I didn't get to sleep hardly at all that night. Finally, out of pure exhaustion, I passed out on the couch. And apparently at some point she tried to move me or something. And I shook her off, and I was like, leave me alone. I'm unconscious. I'm not even awake. And I rejected her. And so when I did wake up, she was up on the balcony, on the roof of this penthouse suite, this honeymoon suite. And she was upset. Rightfully so, but she was upset that in my sleep I rejected her. After being up all night, being exhausted, being so hot. So the next day, they fixed the aircon. Me and my wife did Discover Scuba Diving. It was great. So I went ahead and signed up for the scuba diving course. And the next morning, I was supposed to go scuba diving, do the lessons and stuff to actually become PADI certified. And I had a panic attack or something, and I couldn't breathe. And well, first off, she didn't want to do that course with me, and I was a little upset. But okay, she's a teacher. She wanted time off work and to just relax and not do studying, so that made sense. Cool. And so, but she didn't even want to get up and attend the class with me. So I had to get up by myself, get dressed, go down, do the first half of the course all by myself. Everything was fine. Then we had lunch break. I ordered her breakfast. I got me a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich with cucumbers. And I got her coffee. And woke her up and gave her drinks. And then I had to go back alone to do my scuba class. Well, by the time she got down there, I had a panic attack or something and couldn't breathe. And so I was not allowed to do any pressurized air, underwater. Wasn't allowed to do any of that stuff until I'd been seen by a dive certified physician and had a physical, and they cleared me. And they didn't have those in Moa Boa. So the next day we went to Kawasan Falls. And my wife didn't bring my Kawasan canyoneering shoes so that my feet, I can wear them through the falls. So I had to wear the Filipino sized, which caused a massive blister on my ankle, so I couldn't enjoy it. It was hurting the entire time. and she was chatting up the tour guide, talking to him the entire time, and basically she wasn't fully ignoring me. We had some good things, like there was a swing, a rope swing, and she, pushed me off of a cliff into the water and stuff, and so there were some good times. But I was very envious. I was very jealous because she was talking to this guy in a language I don't know for pretty much half of the canyoneering, and taking sexy pictures and stuff. And I never got any of those. And so canyoneering ended, and I've got a massive blister on my ankle, and we were supposed to go to the sardine runs after this. And what was supposed to happen, according to the resort, what I had booked, was she would discover scuba diving again, I would do snorkeling, and they would use a GoPro to take pictures of the two of us together. We got to the sardine run. She dove down. The guy moved the boat to a different location. They had no snorkel gear for me. No life preserver, no fins, no masks. Only what I brought, my own mask and snorkel, was there. And they didn't know I'd be bringing that. And then as soon as we parked, he dove off the boat. And he went swimming. I was left on the boat all alone. By myself. So I'm here hurting. I'm not getting to do the scuba diving. I'm not getting to spend time with my wife. I'm miserable. When she finally got done, she came back. They came back to the boat. We returned back to port. And my wife could tell I was upset. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "The Philippines hates me. This entire trip, everything has gone wrong. And if you don't get pregnant this time, I want to travel the world. I haven't got to visit any country but the Philippines. So if you're not going to be able to travel with me because you keep doing school and work and everything else, like, if you're not pregnant, the next time I get time off, I might visit Japan or Thailand or Vietnam." And she remembered Thailand because of the girly bars. And in her mind, she turned that conversation into me saying, "If you're not pregnant, then I'm going to go to Thailand and try and get some other girl pregnant." This is why my wife is divorcing me. This is what she believes I said. If I had said that, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, if my husband doesn't want to have sex with me, doesn't want to visit me, doesn't want to try and build a family, if he's going to go off and try and get someone else pregnant, there's no reason for me to stay in a marriage with this type of guy. Completely get it. And we got back to the resort, had romantic dinner, which a lizard shit on. Literally, we're sitting there eating this supposed to be romantic dinner. A lizard in the rafters shat in her champagne, on her plate, in her food. It was terrible. It was one of those things, if you don't laugh, you're going to cry. So we laughed. And then that trip basically ended. The resort, nothing else really happened. And, the next day we got the videos of her snorkeling, and I'm watching them with her. And I started crying. Because she's living the thing I wanted to do. And it hurt. Because this is what I wanted. I wanted to scuba dive. I wanted to be with my wife. And she's not there. And I don't get pictures. I don't get time with her. Everything went wrong. And I'm trying so hard. Anyway, so we left that. We went to the Airbnb. And I was like, okay, we're going to do island hopping with her family and a few of her friends and stuff like that. And her friends showed up and she ignored me. Ignored me. I was left to sit alone and smoke my cigarettes and watch my YouTube videos all alone, while her and these girls are laughing and having conversations in a language I don't understand. And then we went island hopping. And she invited two of her former students, these young men who Didn't ask me. Invited them. And then her brother didn't show up on time, so we waited half the day in the heat. I need air conditioning. I'm sorry. I'm a soft American who needs aircon. I don't handle the heat very well. But her brother was late for like 4 hours fucking again. And when they finally all got there and we got on the boat didn't work. It broke down. So they finally, after an hour, got us a second boat, but it wasn't the right size. It was too small. And then the entire day, she focused on her friends and these two students until I tried to goof off with them a little bit and they all gave me dirty looks. I wasn't welcome. And so we got back to the Airbnb and they were supposed to all be gone by 9, 10 o'clock. She let them stay the night. These two young men. And they got into the beers. They weren't supposed to drink behind the bar. They weren't supposed. I said, hey, let's buy beers so you guys, because that's going to cost more. They didn't care. They chunked the beers. So I had to pay for those beers. And then I left. I had to come back to work. Or to come back, and I was going to spend the weekend with my parents and my parents' family reunion. They put a family reunion together for all of us. So I was going to spend, for the first time in like 5 years, do the family reunion. I did it. And she didn't really talk much. And she sent me a text, and she was like, I flew to Korea, and I didn't get any sleep, really. Couldn't rent a room to sleep in, so I was basically just stuck awake, wandering around Korea for the airport of Incheon for like 14, 15 hours, and I was exhausted. And I remember she messaged me, and she was like, okay, if you want to go to Thailand, you can go to Thailand, but are you going to have sex with people? And I'm like, I'm not going to Thailand to have sex. I would like you to come to Thailand or Korea or Japan or wherever, because I want to have sex with you. I just want to visit other countries. I want to experience more than just the four walls in the Philippines. But if you're not going to go, yeah, I'll probably go to the girly bars. But I don't think I'm going to have sex. I don't know. And really, right now, I'm not even sure I want to do anything other than come back to you in the Philippines. But I didn't say no, right? Because I'm a piece of shit. I'm a sinner. So, she took that conversation, took the boat conversation, smashed it together. That's the story that she has in her mind. And, basically was radio silent for nearly a month. And after I got back into work and I got back to the routine, the 4th of July happened. I was feeling depressed and alone. We hadn't talked in a while. So I messaged her and she was like, don't bother me. I'm busy. I'm stressed. I've got things to do. And now my marriage is over. Not because of anything I did. Not because of a truth. Yeah, I fucked up. I made mistakes. But I haven't cheated on her. I was just, there's no excuse. I was a piece of garbage. I'm a sinner. And I've been in the Bible, and I'm repenting for my sins, and I'm trying to live by Christ. But it doesn't matter. Too little, too late, right? And this is my life. Because I'm not perfect. So she contacted my buddy's wife and talked to her, and my buddy knows all this. I've told him these things. But he didn't remember it correctly. He's like, well, no, yeah, that sounds like something you... Oh, well, you said you did go to the titty bars this last time, or the girly bars this last time. I said, no, I didn't. I told you that was last year. Well, nope, I remember. No, you don't, you piece of shit. You and your wife, who's also divorced, are sitting here being like, yep, it's okay, you should divorce him. That totally makes sense. You want to say you're a Christian? You want to preach the Bible to me? But then you're going to... Dude, if I had done these things, if I had said these things, as soon as me and my wife are having problems, he's like, dude, no problem. We go to Romania, we'll get you a new girl. And I'm like, no, man, I want my wife. I don't want a new girl. I don't want to replace her. I don't want to fuck around. Well, if I had said those things and done those things, would my answer been, no, I want my wife? No, my answer would have been like, good idea. Yeah, let's go to Romania. Let's go to Ukraine. Let's go somewhere else. Let me get a new woman. I wouldn't have been fighting so hard for my wife, and I can't fight anymore. I can't do it. It's up to God. If He wants her with me, they'll find a way, but these daily updates are probably done. I think I'm going to go off the grid for a while. Turn off my phone, because no one believes me. I pick my words carefully. And I take screenshots because I've got a terrible memory. Did I actually say that? And I'm very cautious. I don't want to abuse someone. I don't want to be abusive. So, like, when you say, you said this, and I, like, no, I didn't. When did I say that? Well, you can't say when did I say that, because that's abuse now, because you can't always remember right off the top of the head the exact phrasing or when it occurred, right? So I'm like, maybe I did say that. And if I did, I apologize. This is what I meant. Because I choose my words carefully. But no one else does. And now my marriage is ending, and nothing I could do about it. So, for any of you that actually watched these, thank you. I don't know if I'll be back. I'm going to have to just completely disconnect from society. I'll stay part of the economy. I'll still do my job. And I'll turn to the Bible and I'll read it, and the divorce attorneys will file the divorce, and my life is over. I've lived 40 years. At best, I've got another 40. So, I guess I'll spend those alone. Chasing after Christ, trying to be a better Christian. But alright, that's day 14 of these, and day 3, or like day 2 or day 3 of dying to myself. Peace.